Was it hard to start a business during COVID? I know that a lot of businesses went under, and here you are starting a business in COVID.
This is Hebrew Hits, presented by jtriberadio.com. I'm your host, Malia, and I sit down with people who live by the motto, it's what you do with what you have that makes a difference.
Welcome to the 48th episode of Hebrew Hits. I'm so excited. We're at this number 48. I can't even believe it. I'm so excited to be sitting down today with Yitzi Fellner. Before we get to the show, please hit that subscribe button right now on YouTube. Hit like, share, comment so that more people will be able to watch this video. The more you interact with this interview, the more people will see it. Please go follow Hebrew_Hits on Facebook and on Instagram. And also, if you're listening to this on any streaming app, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, please hit that follow button, subscribe, and please leave a 5-star rating and a nice review. Well, let's get to the show. Yitzi, welcome to Hebrew Hits. How are you doing today?
Hey, very good. Thank you. Excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. This is so exciting. Well, Yitzi, he is the owner and the founder of Reliable Office Services. Tell me, what exactly is that business?
So Reliable Office Services basically provides small business owners and professionals a full-time dedicated receptionist to help them with their phones, scheduling, customer service, data entry, basically be a remote front desk for these small business owners.
Wow. And how many receptionists do you have? You have like one person who's running a bunch of businesses, or each receptionist runs a different business, or is a receptionist for another business?
So that's actually a great question. So the way it works is that the way we have it set up is we're trying to appeal to small business owners. So the people who don't really have enough work to hire somebody full time, and they just need somebody to cover their phones and be there for their clients for a full day. So each receptionist is actually, they handle 4 to 5 accounts that they learn, they take on as their own. The clients get to learn them, and their customers get to, know who they're dealing with. So yeah, each one handles about 4 to 5 clients.
Oh, wow. That's cool. And before we get more into the business, I just want to know a little bit about your background. Like, tell me a little bit where you come from, and let's get to know you a little bit.
Sure. So just to let you know a little bit about myself, I was originally from, Flatbush in Brooklyn, born and raised. And I, started my career as, managing a startup business where they did life insurance exams. So I basically did the day-to-day operations. So I did, whenever, someone wants to apply for life insurance, they have to get an exam where someone will come down, take some blood work, do a little checkup. They submit it and, try to get a, good policy. So I would get the phlebotomist, I would, make sure that the paperwork was filled out correctly. I would do the scheduling. I basically, ran the office. And I did that for, about a year and a half. And, when it was time to move on, I actually got a job at B&H. A lot of people think, oh, B&H, everybody goes to B&H. But it actually was a fantastic place to work. I was there for 5 years in their corporate sales, where I learned a lot of skills in customer service and just how the corporate world works. And it was just an amazing experience. Anyone who, asked me, should they go get a job at B&H, I always recommend it. Yeah. So I was in their corporate sales, I worked my way up to team lead. And then, we moved out over here to Lakewood, where I live now in Lakewood, New Jersey. And, wanted to find something a little bit more local, where I started working in another startup company. I came in as a project manager and basically worked my way up to COO, where I built their warehousing system. I, was overseeing their customer service. I was very involved with, sales and onboarding new clients, basically running the entire, day-to-day operation. And then COVID hit, where, a lot of people were affected, some positively, some negatively. And It was just, I had a great opening, great opportunity to, start this business, and that's where we are.
So would you say it was challenging for you? It seems like you had a few different jobs. Was it challenging for you to like go from one job to the next, or was it either refreshing, or you're like, wow, great new experience, or was it hard? Like you just wanted to be settled in one job, or no?
I guess it's a little bit of both. Like my personality, I like stability. That's just the way I am. But at the same time, I like to grow and I like new challenges. So the main reasons why I left those other companies was because either, I just needed a new challenge. It wasn't, just enough for me. I needed something new. Or it's just, I kind of just, I outgrew it. That's, basically, I would say the best way to describe it.
And
So
the different jobs that you're talking about seem like they're all very different. So are you just very skilled in different things, or are you able to adapt to different jobs?
So they do sound different, but if you think about the structure of what they're all about, they're kind of the same. Like I started off as, I started at the bottom when I was a lot younger, and I was doing like scheduling, a lot of data entry, and just making sure things were shipping out. And then we're in a pretty small office. And from there, I went to customer service, where just learning how to handle different situations, how to deal with clients, how to just keep everybody happy, keep customers happy, and make them returning customers. And from there, it kind of was a combination of those two, where I was, handling shipping and schedules and customer service. So it was all about customer service. And I think that was always like the base of every job that I had, was focusing on that customer service and making sure you have customers that are happy and returning customers and just things running smoothly within the office. Just everything goes smoothly.
That's so interesting. So like it seems like one job led to the next of getting more knowledge in this specific area. And has that led you to create this company that you have now with all that experience?
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. That everything that I've had worked on my entire, professional career definitely led me to this position for sure.
And you started this during COVID. Was it hard to start a business during COVID? I know that a lot of businesses went under, and here you are starting a business in COVID.
So it definitely had its challenges for sure. Especially in the beginning when everything was still, more, everyone was on lockdown and working remote. But at the same time, I had that opportunity because this was a business that kind of came out because so many people had to downsize from COVID, and so many people kind of became accustomed from working remotely and not really needing to have somebody in their office right next to them. So kind of just opened up an opportunity for us to start. Yeah.
So again, your company is basically giving another business a virtual receptionist, right? That's what it
Correct.
is.
Yeah.
So, and that person, where is that receptionist located? Is that even in like near that other business, or it's wherever they are located?
So we're actually located in here in Lakewood. The receptionists are actually located in our office here. Basically, I always tell clients, view me as your office manager. That's kind of like my position. We have them in office where, I manage them and make sure that things are being done correctly and to their liking. And yeah, it's kind of like our appeal. Like we don't outsource to, India or the Philippines or anything like that. We keep everything in-house.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, who are these? Are these like, Jewish ladies, or just anybody who is local in Lakewood?
So the staff that we have right now is not within the community. They're not necessarily Jewish women, but they are very professional. When I hire, I make sure that, they have the experience that, would make them a good fit for the type of clients that I'm looking for. And they can handle themselves on the phone. They, that they're very professional and can do the job right.
That's awesome. And I've never heard of this kind of business. It could be that there is something like that, but I don't think I've ever heard of it. So what made you either have this idea or make you want to go into this type of business? Like, how did you even come up with it?
So it's actually interesting. Over COVID, I have, two family members that are physical therapists. Okay. And during COVID, they couldn't see clients. They you know, they had to downsize, you know, and get rid of their staff, that they were even thinking to themselves, you know, they were so quiet. They weren't quiet, but they didn't really have that much work for the staff to do anyways. So, you know what, we're going to save some money. We're going to have a clinic in our house, and, you know, we're just going to do it on our own. We don't need the staff.
Mhm.
But they saw that it was extremely, extremely difficult. And that's when somebody approached me with this idea. And I was just like, yeah, like, this is an amazing idea. How does this not exist? But it's
Oh my
interesting.
gosh.
As I started doing it, I started, like, building the company. We noticed that there are companies out there that do this. And I think it's something that's going to start popping up a lot more. But yeah, we're definitely trying to get our footprint in before this type of business is going to be everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's a genius business. So I know that you had a lot of experience that led you to this, but how did you actually, I just want to know, like, logistically, because it's like so cool how you started this kind of thing. How did you actually get it started? Like, you have a partner and then you just started telling people, hey, do you want a job as being a receptionist? Like, how did that all come to be?
So I would say, like I said before, my personality is stability. Even when I was thinking about this idea, I'm like, no, this is a genius idea, but this is not me. I'm like, when the guys, I'll manage a business, whatever. This is not my personality. And
Mhm.
I was talking to a few people, and someone who I know very well is a business consultant. He's like, no, like, especially because this was like kind of what this whole like idea is, like, my strength, everything that I, have done in the past, and, this is everything that I know how to do well. He's like, we're building this together, because I was even thinking taking on a partner, maybe let them deal with the business side. He's like, no, we're going to build this, and we're going to get this off the ground. And I'm very grateful for him, actually, for doing that, because yeah, it was one of the best decisions I made. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And it's so interesting, like, building a business, you'd be like, okay, how does that fit into the mantra of the show? But it fits in so well, because the show is, it's what you do with what you have that makes a difference. So you took all that experience that it could have been difficult. Like, you had to, find another job after, having, like, you had a few jobs. Some people would say, oh my gosh, that's a hard time in my life. It's challenging, which it is, but you took all that experience that allowed you to build this big company that is going to grow now, because it's just going to bloom, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's all
So if
about
you,
perspective. Yeah,
yeah.
it's sure.
So what services do you provide besides for receptionist, or is that your main service?
So that's the base that we call
Mhm.
it. Like, I mean, if anyone has a company that has a phone number, you need somebody to pick up the phone. At the end of the day, everybody wants somebody to pick up the phone on the other end. They don't want to get a voicemail. They don't want to get a text back, I'll call you later. So that's what, like, is our base, is reception.
Mhm.
Someone helping you to answer the phones, take messages, and stuff like that. But we really offer a full solution. We offer customer service, where they will learn detailed information about your business, help problem solve situations and stuff like that. Scheduling, anyone who has a calendar.
Mhm.
There's so many businesses out there, anywhere from handyman to social workers, physical therapists, OT, like, just anyone who works on a schedule. We handle their schedule, we learn their systems, data
Wow.
entry, doing like basic, QuickBooks, stuff like that, entering invoices, sending out invoices, anything that you would really expect to have from your receptionist sitting at your front desk.
And do these receptionists, let's say, like, call people at, let's say, leads, or they don't do that?
So not so much sales.
Mhm.
That's not really what our focus is. Our focus
Mhm.
is to give the support for the business owners and professionals, so they can focus on either their sales or just growing their company. Or, like, I have some people who are just like, you know what, I want to spend more time with my family. I'm so busy with this. I want to spend time with my family. I want to start learning a little bit more every day. I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, whatever you want to do with your time, that's fine. Our goal is to give you some time.
So can you tell me some pros of having a virtual receptionist rather than them hiring a receptionist in their own business?
Sure. So there are, there are a bunch of them.
Mhm.
If somebody who, has somebody part-time right now, well, there's the whole expense of hiring. People don't realize what the expense that is.
Mhm.
There's the, having the computer set up, office set up, sending them equipment, software, getting them all set up. having to worry about people on vacation, maternity leave, out sick, whatever it may be. Who's going to cover your phones when someone's out? What happens if the person decides that it's not working out, they want to leave the next day? So just for the people who have somebody part-time, it's great that you have, somebody to cover your phones from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. What happens after 2:30? Then, the person, like in today's days, if you don't have good customer service, you don't have somebody answering the phone, they have Google, they're going to call the next person. That's what it all comes down to. It comes down to servicing your customers, making them feel good, helping them when they call.
So you have some receptionists, let's say, that would work, let's say till 2, you're saying, and then you have somebody else that would take over that receptionist if they're not there?
Oh no, my receptionist did, like our staff, we work 9 to 5. If they're out sick or something like that, we'll get somebody to cover. But it's more for the people who, if they have somebody part-time or don't have anybody at all. Like people think, oh, I only need somebody part-time because I don't have enough work to keep someone full-time, busy full-time.
Oh, so that's why they would take over after those hours.
Yeah, no, or if they decide that it's not working out with a part-time employee, like something like that, just we offer a full-time service.
Oh, wow. And who are you looking to target? Like what kinds of businesses?
So it's really anybody who's looking to grow, anyone who's handling it themselves, or they tried hiring somebody part-time and just wasn't working out because their clients were still not getting the service that they needed. Anyone who's staying up late at night, returning emails and voicemails and, just overwhelmed and burnt out. And every time their phone rings, they get another gray hair. Those are the people we're trying to help.
Wow, I definitely need this service. I'm literally up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, just like responding to people about the podcast, adding, like, I need someone to run my calendar. Seems like that's what you do.
100%. That's exactly what we do. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And how would these receptionists, like, let's say I would want to say, okay, I want this receptionist not to answer my calls because I have to do that, but let's say run my calendar. How do they know exactly the way I want it or what I want? Because let's say I need a meeting exactly at this time. How do they know? How does that work?
So we actually have an extensive onboarding process. When we sign any new client, we actually go down to their office or we do a Zoom call, something like that. And we have like a 10-page, application that we go through with the whole onboarding form that we sit down and we put down like as many details as we possibly can about your business. Obviously, we're always adding to those lists and we save a file for each client, because what happens if someone's out, someone decides that they quit, the receptionist, or it's not working out and we need to hire someone new, or the person's out sick and someone needs to replace them. They have this cheat sheet that they know everything about the business, and that owner doesn't have to worry about having to train someone new every time. One of the other benefits of using our service, when I know somebody who went through 7 receptionists in 1 year, and it was just like each time you have to look to hire, and they're panicking, sending out the WhatsApp chats. Does anyone know of someone looking for a job? You have to train them again and go through the whole process. It's a tough process, and that's what we're trying to help people with.
How did you come up with that cheat sheet? Like, I'm just like so curious. Like, how did you come up with every little detail? Because every single business is different.
So just working in different industries and working with different business owners, I, got a good feeling of the base of what everyone needs. And of course, we have comment sections on each one that we add in if things are a little bit different. But especially when it comes down to the phones, scheduling, data entry, like some things are just very similar, but that's just the way I always was in my past jobs. I was very detail oriented. I always put systems in place, always thinking about how can we make things more efficient, run smoother. So all that experience that I had from my previous jobs, I was able to implement over here. Yeah,
for sure. And tell me about some challenges that you had going into this business and starting this business, because it's not easy to just start any business.
No, for sure. So it definitely took time, I would say, building the foundation. From what I've seen working in different startups, they found not having a strong foundation and being sure in what you're trying to accomplish it's just going to be chaos. So that did take some time. And I would say probably the biggest challenge is because this is like a newer type of concept, it's a proven concept that it works, but because it's so many things, like for instance, you didn't hear of this type of business either, it's like educating people about it, saying like, this is what we're doing, this is, something that does actually work, and it's like people need to trust it. And I think that's the biggest challenge. Everyone who I speak to, who I know can benefit from this, in the beginning, they're just like, yeah, this is a genius idea. I'm different. I'm like, how are you different? I can handle it. I can handle it. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? And I go through my series of questions with them. I'm like, until they're just like, oh, okay. But I guess getting in front of people to trust this type of idea that's, I would say, the biggest challenge.
How do you then get people to trust? Like, it has to come from people trusting you first, not even trusting the business. They have to have trust in you. So how do you show that trust, and how would you prove that trust?
Yeah, no, 100%. So listen, we definitely, have referrals that we give out to other people. That's actually the most effective because they get to hear from other small business owners. I try to even get people in their field to speak with them so they can see that this is something that can actually work. But it's also, there's no commitment, which is something we tell them, like, you don't have to worry about, you're not signing away your business to us. There is no commitment. We believe in our, business so much that, once you try it, we believe that you're going to love it. And we also have full transparency. We always encourage the email boxes should be shared email accounts. You can see everything that's going on. We have the voicemails emailed over to you as well, as to our receptionist. You get a task list at the end of every day of everything that happened. The calls came in, what happened, how was the call resolved. So you see exactly what's going on in the business. And we also give phone reports. You could see how many calls came in, how many of them were missed, how long the phone calls were. You just keep your finger on the pulse. Just because you're joining such a business, you're, signing on different receptionists, not in your office or anything like that, doesn't mean you're giving everything away and you're losing control of your business. We try to make it as transparent and make them as comfortable as possible.
And your receptionist, if somebody calls, they know all the information that they would give to their, to this person calling, obviously. Are they there, let's say, to convince that person to go with that business? Or is it very straight that they just answer the questions that they're asked?
Sure, that's a very good question. So I would say that, they definitely are encouraging. They're not salesmen, you know what I mean? They're not gonna,
Right.
persuade and do all the things that a salesman has to do to get a client in. But let's say they're there to help them get any answer that they need. Let's say a social worker, for example. Do you take insurance? What type of insurance? What are his hours like? Is it morning and nights? They're there to at least give them all the information they need to make a proper decision. They want to know, does he specialize in anything or anything like that? They'll have all that information to let them know. Sure, it's he specializes with kids or whatever. It may be marriage counseling, whatever it may be. Same thing with handyman and electricians. What are the rates like? What is his hours like? And does he come late at night? Stuff like that.
No, that's right. I hear what you're saying. Now I get it even more. And it's very good that you have a partner, because a partner keeps you in check. And like imagine you do this by yourself. It could be that you'd be like, oh, I can't go to work today. But having a partner really, really pushes you. Now, tell me about some self-doubt that you experience, if you experience any at all, because I want to inspire other business owners, because it's hard owning a business and it's normal to have self-doubt. So what do you do when you're challenged with that day that you're like, oh my gosh, do I think I can continue this? Do I not? How do you react to that?
So definitely starting the company, you got plenty of those days, for sure. And I would say one of my strengths would not be it's definitely not my strength to be a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I'm more of a people person. I'm not a guy to get on the phone and start make them crazy to just sign the contract. I'm more of a people person. When I speak with clients, I make sure that they're comfortable, and there are definitely those days where I'm just like, did I do the right thing? Should I have gone to this business? Should we have opened? And it's great to, I have that sales consultant. He's there to like coach me along. And it's honestly with LinkedIn, it's been amazing. There's so many people on LinkedIn who just reach out and just encourage, like, not them knowing whether I'm having a bad day or not, but they just reach out and they want to talk and like, oh yeah, like try to do this differently, that differently to try to help your business out. And really just like, it's a great source to just help each other out. And yeah, it's amazing that there are so many people out there that are just so nice to just, help whoever, like, it's great.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about LinkedIn for a few minutes because I joined LinkedIn only like 5 months ago, I would say. And I have met so many amazing people that I'm close with to this day, like literally tzaddikim is on LinkedIn. And I love the platform. How long have you been on LinkedIn for?
So really, I've been on LinkedIn for the last like 12 years. When like my first job, the owner, he like said, oh, because we were looking for like phlebotomists. So he's like, oh, try LinkedIn. I'm like, okay. And I made an account back then, and I haven't touched it for 11 years.
Wow.
I only really started really utilizing it once I started this business. And it was amazing. One of the people on LinkedIn, her name is Sarah. I put a few people on the post. Like one day I was just like thanking everybody who's helped me. And I was like, just scrolling around, posting up posters about our business and whatever, nothing crazy. And she really just reached out and said like, hey, what's going on? I see you have a business, this and that. How's it going? And like coached me on like, why don't you post like videos of yourself? Why don't you do this differently or that differently? Try to interact more with people. And honestly, ever since I spoke with her, she like I met so many different people. I think that's even the way I was able to get here today and have the courage to reach out to you. I've seen your show and post, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get on the Malia's show. I want to get on Hebrew Hits. Like, and she was amazing. She really helped me out. And from there, even more people reached out to me and told me like, yeah, no, keep posting this, that. And I was really able to meet like a whole bunch of different people. It's been amazing.
Yeah, so LinkedIn's actually interesting because if you come on there in the beginning with the sole focus of pushing your business and like, rah, this is my business, I feel like people lose a little bit of interest. When like the way I started, and I also tell a lot of people, and I'll tell you as well, which you just basically said it, share about yourself, which I did for the first like month, like maybe 2 months. I just shared myself, just like different things. And then I started talking about my show. I didn't talk about it right away. And that really grew my audience because people got to know me and feel like once people feel like they're connected to you, they're going to want to be connected to your business as well.
100%. I completely agree with that. Like I was saying that, yeah. No, I was saying like, I know we spoke on the phone, like the last post I put up was there's Plaza Barbers, so I see he's great on LinkedIn and all that. And he's near my office. I'm like, you know what? I need to take my kids for haircuts. I'm gonna take him there. He was incredible there, did an amazing job. I say, you know what? Let me try to promote you on LinkedIn. Took a picture of him with my kids, thanking him for the haircut. And I think that was the best post I put on. I got the most amount of likes and everything. And it really shows people want to know more about you. And the fact that they see you helping other people, that's really what, people want to see. And that's what, I would want to see.
Exactly. So how often do you post on LinkedIn? Just curious.
So I do try to post at least 2 to 3 times a week. At one point I was trying the daily, and it's difficult to do it daily. Happens to be I didn't post in like a week, but I do try to, like, with perm and stuff, it's been pretty hectic. But
we'll make a post today.
Yeah, no, I really have to do a post today. Really, it's really important to keep it updated for sure.
Well, we can make a post today after this podcast. We'll do like a little clip of and I'll send it to you, and then you can post
it. Sounds awesome.
Great. Yeah, because LinkedIn is definitely, and you feel that LinkedIn, you're able to push your business out, and also not only push your business out, but did you create a business hashtag?
Did I do that, you're asking? Or
yeah, you.
So I actually did, yeah. So it's hashtag reliable. Yeah, we're trying to push that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Hashtag reliable. That's just so simple, so easy.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure to go follow it right after we finish this podcast.
Yeah, go for it. I
have another question about your clients. Do you think that your clients will lose the personal experience that they have with their customers through this business, or no?
So a lot of people think that, like, that's one of the, I think the biggest pushbacks I get, especially with smaller businesses, especially in like healthcare, like social workers, any type of therapist, any type of therapy. They feel like, you know, my clients, they want to speak to me. They like speaking to me. And it's actually, we've proven that's really not the case. One of my clients showed me they had 500 text messages unread. Another one had 10,000 emails unread.
Oh my
People,
God.
at the end of the day, they want to speak to somebody. They want to confirm their appointment. They want to schedule an appointment, whatever it is. They want to know that right now you're too busy and you can't see them, but they'll go on a cancellation list. So yeah, like that's not the case at all. When it comes down to it, people just want to talk to somebody when they call in. They want someone to answer the phone and help them with what they need.
And do you, before hiring anybody, do you make sure that that person is going to be like give exceptional customer service? Because that's what you're doing. You're trying to, you know, it's customer service. Do you make sure? And how do you know, like, let's say one of your receptionists are not really being the best that they can be? How do you react to that?
So yes, 100%. When I interview, when I look for employees, just based off of my past experiences, I know what type of questions to ask. I've spent a lot of time on the phone and talking to many, many different types of people. And to me, the most important thing is, you know, and this is like probably the number one question when I interview people is, you know, when somebody calls in and they're screaming and they're yelling and they're rude and they're just being nasty on the phone, how do you react? What do you try to do? Okay. Anyone who's been in customer service has dealt with that. And depending on how they answer that question is honestly, that's what comes down to whether I'll hire them or not. They could be phenomenal in every other area. And they would say like, well, you know, I don't take such abuse, and I either hang up the phone or I pass it over to someone else to handle because I don't need to handle it. That's, I don't care if you're excelling in everywhere else. That's extremely important. And I 100%, I've had it in, you know, my previous jobs where people did not handle, you know, a phone call correctly in the right way, and it escalated and it became a bigger problem. And I, you know, we have to do to make sure that clients are happy and being taken care of, and you know, whether it means to speak with the receptionist and see what's going on, and you know, see if it could continue working. Like, you know, maybe they just made a mistake. They, you know, had a moment, you know, but
because people are people at the end of the day. People are human, so people could slip up. But if it's a real big slip up, it's not good.
100%, yeah. But customer service is key and our the top priority by us, sure.
It's interesting how you said in the interview, that's what you asked the question. Like, I was thinking that this is how you do your interviews. Let's say you quote unquote hire for like a test run and they don't know they're answering calls, and then you or your partner or you have somebody who you hire to be a tester and be disgusting over the phone and really test out. That's really the interview, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Testing out this person who you may hire, see how they actually react. Because in an interview, they'll say, of course, they'll be nice, but once they're hit with it, then it's interesting to see how they react.
Yeah, no, of course. And yeah, that's only something you're going to find out once they're actually hired on. And yeah, but generally you can tell from people's personality if that's going to happen pretty quickly. It's actually funny, like we used to do when I was back in B&H, and we, you know, some days if it would have got a little quiet or we just wanted to mess with another guy, we would just like call from our cell phone private number and just call up and start screaming, where's my order, and this and that, and see how the person's going to react. But listen, they train you well in B&H. Everyone always kept their cool and listen, okay, so sorry, yeah. But it's like this game we used to have, yeah. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And hearing your business, I know you said that some people say, oh, we could do it on our own, but then they have 10,000 emails they didn't respond to. Even if they responded to every single email, doesn't it look much more professional if someone has a receptionist?
Yes, 100%. One thing I always tell them, like, you know, going back to that question, you said, oh, like that personal touch, like, you know, that they don't speak directly to me. There's nothing wrong with letting your clients know that, you know, I'm not sitting by the phone waiting for you to call me. You know, I value my time, and this is someone who helps me manage my time. I think if anything, it just makes you look a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Because then it looks like a much more verified business if you have a receptionist. It's like, wow, they have someone managing all this stuff for them,
Exactly.
you know? And another question, I don't know if you want to answer this, but how does it exactly work with, like, let's say somebody wants to use your service. So they come in and they say, okay, I want to use you to test you out for a month. Do you charge people for a month, or do they have to sign for 6 months or a year? How does that work?
So I got a little nervous and you're like, you don't have to answer. I'm like, oh no, what's coming?
Oh.
No, so there's no commitment. Obviously, you know, we charge for the first month if you want to use it, but we tell everybody that we feel so confident that this is gonna, you know, not just solve your issue, but you're gonna be so like relieved and you're like, you know, that this is a solution that you need. There's no commitment. If you feel like after a month it's not working out for you, no hard feelings. You know, like there's no pressure at all to join.
Mhm. And how much would you say it costs for somebody to use your services?
So it all depends on, like, you know, what exactly they need. The price range is from $249 to $599 a week. And we did the math, and we have it up, you know, on not on our website. I think we even posted once on LinkedIn that it actually comes out to cheaper, the same price or cheaper than hiring somebody part-time on your own. So it's
Wow.
just an affordable option for people, you know, who just either need a break and looking to grow their company, and yeah,
And it's full-time, not part-time. So they're
full
getting more
time.
time for their money.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you would say you have a slogan for your business, what would it be?
So we were like dabbling with a few different types. It was, you know, full-time receptionist, part-time salary. There was the best way to make money is not by saving money, because people think, oh, I'll save money by not hiring. And
Oh, I
like,
like
you know, this.
that.
So yeah, we were working with a few, but
What did you
yeah,
go
I
with?
think that was the one that we were like, we started with you know, full-time receptionist for part-time salary, but I think that one hits home a little more. The the second one, yeah.
I also, the first one seems like it's based around like money. The second one is definitely better. Can you say it again?
Yeah.
I just wanted to
So
get.
yeah. So the slogan that we're transitioning to is the best way to make money is not by saving money.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It is.
Yeah,
It's so smart, because now I'm thinking about it. It's like you'll spend this money, but you're investing in yourself and investing in your business.
exactly. Like the one thing, like when I speak to people, you know, when I'm trying to sell to them, just like one question: do you ever think you lost a client because you weren't able to pick up the phone or answer them right away? Every single person says 100%. Like,
Wow.
so it's really, that's what it comes down to. It's reliability. That's why we went with that name, Reliable Services. That's what we are. And that's what we try to give people.
And your partner, is he a silent partner or is he known?
So it's not even so much as a partner. He's more like, you know, a consultant that, you know, is there like more of like our backbone type. Like, you
Okay.
know, he's there to like support us and keep us going. So yeah, no, he's not like facing the customers or anything like that.
Wow. And I'm still like in awe how everything led you to this. Like, if COVID didn't hit, it could possibly be that you would still be in your other job.
100%, yeah, for sure.
But and now you're enjoying this so much more than all those other jobs that you were in.
Yeah, like there's definitely challenges with having your own business, but to have honestly like that freedom and like that growth potential, there's no glass ceiling. Like sky's the limit, you know. It's just like having that, like, you know, idea is just like, it's amazing.
Yeah. So where do you want to go from here? How much more do you want to grow?
I mean, listen, we would love to, you know, keep growing, you know, get as as big as we can. Like, I feel like there are so many businesses out there that can benefit from this.
Yeah.
There's no, like, you know, right now we're not putting a glass ceiling anywhere. We're keeping it open, and you know, it's all in God's hands. That's
Wow.
it.
And if it's
Whoever.
virtual, since it's virtual, you could definitely do this like anywhere in the world. Like, you could hire someone to manage a business in Israel or in Asia, in Europe, in the UK, like all over. This could really go like you could, hire different people and this could be your business that you started
Yeah, 100%. And the
because
whole
it's
idea
virtual.
is that people will never know that when they call in, this person is not sitting in the other room. They're right there.
Right. And it's so well, maybe you'd have to have the same accents or no?
Well, I guess that gets a little tricky when you talk about overseas.
Right, you'd have to have the same accents. And I want to ask you this question since it's a virtual business.
Sure.
How long do you think virtual type of things are going to be going on? Do you think this is where we're headed in the next like years to come?
So I definitely think that because of COVID, like it opened up everyone's eyes to like, this is in a sense like an option. And I know so many businesses that are still working remotely, even though, things, thank God things did calm down a lot and they have the vaccine and a lot of businesses did reopen. But I know many people who are still working from home. But it's not even so much, I would say, for COVID related reasons. It's more that you don't have to worry about staffing your own employee or having office space for them.
Right.
It's like they're right there, but you never have to worry about like, setting them up.
And if you don't mind answering this question,
Sure.
how many receptionists do you have at the current moment?
So right now, we're still in startup mode. So we're actually working on getting our second one now.
Wow.
Yeah, so like we're still we're growing, thank God, but right now we're working on getting our second one. Yeah,
And did you say that you started this business in September?
September. Yeah.
So it's only been how many months? Like September, October, November, December, January. It's been like 7 months since you had this business.
Yeah, it's about 7 months.
Mhm.
And, we were able to, in the beginning, it was definitely tricky, especially with all the Untitled,
Mhm.
with Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, and all that, everybody shut
Right.
down. But it was getting the traction in the beginning to get people used to this idea and try to get our name out there enough that
Mhm.
was getting to a point where we speak to people, they're like, oh yeah, no, I've heard about it, something like that. Someone was telling me, and we're getting like some referrals and stuff like that. So yeah, it now is a pretty exciting time.
I'm so amazed how much it grew in just a few months. That's a big deal.
Yeah, thank God.
And is there anything else that you'd like to say about your business?
So I mean, I definitely think we hit all the major points.
Mhm.
We're there to really help out these companies, and there's a lot of them out there.
Mhm.
And yeah, we're hoping for the best.
And I want to ask you a personal question, because taking on a business is a big decision. How do you see your life has changed, like your personal life, not your work life? Your personal life has changed. You feel you're more accomplished and you're going after something that you want. Like, how do you feel?
I definitely feel definitely more like ambitious. I'm like, it's definitely more exciting for sure. And just really like being your own boss, being in control. Like it's, there was so many times in other companies where I worked where I saw things going on. And I was just like we can't do that. I tried even to speak up and I was just like, why don't we do it differently? Why don't we do it that way? Like this is really, I really think this is going to be like a mistake. And sometimes it wasn't, sometimes there really was a mistake. And it's
Mhm.
just nice to, in a sense, have that control where, I get to make the decisions now and the way I feel like it, the businesses should be running and,
Mhm.
how my employees, it's very important to me to have morale up and keep my employees happy. And, because it really comes through to all my customers and all my clients. They're going to feel whether my employees are happy or not.
For sure.
And
And I really have to ask you this also because
sure.
it's interesting. Um, when you first started the business, were you the one who was on the phone being that receptionist?
Yes,
Okay.
I fully believe that for any business owner, they need to know how to do the job in order to
Mhm.
appreciate their employees. I
Yes.
think that is key. It is extremely important to have a successful company. Otherwise, you don't appreciate your employees with what they're doing. If you don't
Right. And
know what it
also
is they
that's how you know. And then you're already designing the business, but unless you become that receptionist, like that's when you really know like how, I mean, you know how it works, but I feel like if you become the receptionist, which is what the business is, you really know the business even more than
yeah,
just saying what it is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I onboard a client, I'm the one who actually learns the business. And then I train in the receptionist on, how their business runs. This
Right,
way, I really have a good understanding of my clients and what their needs are.
right.
And also, like, listen, there are plenty of days where it gets overwhelming and gets very busy. I sit
Uh-huh.
down, I start taking calls, I start scheduling. We do what we have to do to make our clients happy. I'm happy to sit down and do the work.
Of course, I don't, I wouldn't even think that you're just like sitting in the office, just like chilling all day. Like you built this
Yeah,
thing and you're still at this beginning stages, like you're going to grow, but you have to put the work in. Like I
sure.
wouldn't think that you're just sitting there, just like, okay, let me look at the ceiling.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So I know that different businesses have something called a call center. So would you say that your business is like a call center?
No, absolutely not. We are like complete opposite of a call center. Call centers are there to just take a message. They have 50 people, 50, 60 people answering the phone. They have a script. What we provide is a dedicated account representative who learns your businesses, all the ins and outs. They get to learn your clients. They get to learn how you like to work. And it's really like getting your own personal employee. You're not getting
Wow.
some sort of service that, just takes a message.
Oh, wow. That's awesome to know. And before we go, can you please share two pieces of advice? The first thing is for somebody that is just lost and they have a job and then they go to a next job and go to a next job, similar to what you were doing in the beginning when you were younger. What piece of advice do you have for that person?
So honestly, the best advice I can give is try to, gain as much experience as you can. You don't like the way it is, see what you don't like about it. See what would you do differently. Not just like, I hate the way things are running. So
Mhm.
what would you do differently to make it run better? And then hopefully an opportunity comes up. You never know when that opportunity will come up. I didn't know for myself that it would be now. But this way you just, you'll have that experience, you'll have that knowledge to take it and run with it and implement it on your own.
Wow, thank you. And then the second piece of advice that I'd like to hear from you is if you can tell those people who are starting a business and they're unsure, like they're having doubts, should I start, should I not start? And they really just don't, they need that extra push. What would you tell that person? Should they, like, how would you encourage them?
I would say, do you believe in what you're trying to accomplish? Do you believe in what you're trying to do? If you believe in it and you really believe that this is something that people need and you think that you have something good, then go for it. If you believe in it, other people will also.
Wow. It's something that I love that because it's something like I said on LinkedIn. I said, if you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else believe in you? So similar to your business, like if you don't believe in your business, then why should anybody else believe in it? Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. So Yitzi, I want to ask you, how can someone get in touch with you? They want to use your services. How can they get in touch with you?
Sure. So listen, you could check out my LinkedIn profile. I have all my contact information there. You can go to our website, reliableos.com. Our number is, you call our office, 732-226-8111. Send us an email, info@reliableos.com. We have many different ways for you to get in touch with us.
You just heard that from Yitzi Fellner. He is the founder and the owner of Reliable Office Services. Go check out all of his links. They are going to be in the description down below. This was the 48th episode of Hebrew Hits. I'm your host, Malia. Thank you so much for being here with me and listening to the show. Yitzi, it's been such a pleasure interviewing you and having you on the show.
It was great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, such a pleasure. Go hit that subscribe button on YouTube. I know I asked you in the beginning of this interview. If you have not yet done it, hit it right now. Hit that notification bell, hit like and comment. If you have any questions for Yitzi, leave it down in the comment section below. We will get them answered for you. Please go follow Hebrew_hits on Instagram and Facebook. And also, you know what I'm about to say? Go follow us on all of the streaming apps. Leave a rating, leave a review. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Have a great day, great night, great morning. Bye-bye.